9 and 6. I think nowadays education is so important and it's our future, because every city or the world, when we talk about innovation, when we talk about technology, I think after all, the most important is the talent. So I think it's very important. And I think Hong Kong, we have a very good foundation, and then we also embark a journey of embracing innovation and technology. And under our bureau, we are also very young. We're only 2 years old, being set up, and we are driving this agenda. I just want to share some of the issues that every day and night that we so care. So I just want to share, because I understand I only have 10 minutes, and I also want to listen to Dr. Green and also Paulina for their sharing. So well, I think why the world is changing so fast? I think it's because today's a lot of different corporations which actually hire a lot of people. They're actually changing, shifting. Used to be a lot of bank, used to be a lot of so-called energy company. Now, the most valuable or most influential companies among the world, I think some of these you may be familiar in Hong Kong, like Tencent, right? Every day you talk about whether you own the Tencent stock or not. And at the same time, if you are in America or wherever, you ask people whether you own Facebook or Google, what have you. So I think the most important is not the valuation of the company. I think it's the technology or the service that they are deploying is actually changing every day of our life, and even can overturn government. Think about that. Think about a lot of this social media company actually can really dictate what we like, what we dislike. It's so powerful. And what's behind it? Okay, what's the technology behind it? I think every company nowadays talking about is artificial intelligence. After the invention of electricity, today's, I think the most, I would say, technology breakthrough is the artificial intelligence. And what's behind artificial intelligence is all about programming, all about software. And I'm very lucky to say that, despite I didn't study EE at Imperial, I actually detoured myself studying computer science. So I didn't regret, because all my cousins, they're all EE. And in my family, you should study EE, right? And I just did a detour. So, but my first job is actually EE, by the way. So even though my education training is software, but I'm also hardware in my heart. I just want to share, some of these most influential, and a lot of people say, oh, artificial intelligence is none of my business. It's not going to disrupt my industry. But look at that. Different industry sectors actually investing themselves. Not just they are actually reacting, but they are also investing proactively. So this is some of the example. And also, I just, since I come to this talk, I also try to get some update. What industry is actually will be impacted by AI? Used to be here in this quadrant. Although some of the industry like IT or transportation and travel has been so-called, moderate impact. But very likely, in 5 or 10 years, and this will be shifting to the upper, right-hand corner. And you can say every industry, even talk about government, the public sector, is also being disrupted by AI. So remarkable. So if you have young kids today, so what kind of technology they should learn? So I think it's very simple. AI. But what is behind AI is, I think is very important, is programming. And this is a simple illustration of a lot of industry in the old days. They say, oh, I have a car, manufacturing of car. But in tomorrow's industry, the producer of a car and the servicing of a car or rental business of a car will be completely integrated. And you can see companies like Toyota or BMW, they also reinvent themselves to become not just manufacturing of car, and they are actually investing themselves on platform or car hailing services or apps, mobile apps, and make sure that they didn't miss the biggest mistake Kodak made many years ago. Okay, because Kodak did invent the digital camera, but they think that they are going to destroy their so-called chemical business. So that's why they missed the digital camera a big way. But a lot of good leading motors, for example, automobile industry, they understand this lesson. So they actually invest themselves. So just give you example that a lot of this so-called product company, the line is blurring. So if you talk about Tencent or Alibaba, are they e-commerce platform or social media platform, or are they a bank? Or are they an insurance company? So think about that. Are they a grocery store? So I don't know. So they just provide supply for your everyday life. Okay. And the GE way. So who owned the GE stock? I did. And in the last year or so, miserable. I only got 30% of whatever remainder. The stock has been crushing down like roller coaster. What have they made mistake? The GE used to be the greatest empire of American company because they transformed too slow. Okay, and in fact, the then CEO, he already left. Jeff, he actually made a statement to say that all the new hire of their management trainee need to learn programming. Think about that. If you are a non-computing science degree being recruited by GE, they need you to learn programming, because he believed that he was one of the management gurus, right? GE always churn out of management trainee, and he actually made that statement back in 2016. But it was too late, I think. It was like 2010 or maybe earlier. Then I think he can really turn around. But again, it's a big corporation. So again, I just want to share this so-called some insight to point you to why STEM education today is so important to our society, and especially in Hong Kong, by the way, because you think about Hong Kong, we have so much dependent on Chung, a lot of doctor, lawyer, accountant, or even a lot of professional. I'm not saying they're bad, but what I'm saying is a lot of their jobs will be assisted by computer or by AI. Okay? So if you are training your young kids like me, I will definitely let them to choose their career wider. And I think it's so important. So I will end my talk here. I just don't want to, because my talk can be a couple of hours, but I want to listen more and, and hope to learn more from you all. Thank you.